Welcome back, everybody, to MLB 15, the show. This is the All-Star break, and right now we have the league leaders in all of categories. It says to qualify as a league leader, a batter must have 3.1 plate appearances per team games played. So anyway, for batting average, it's very close. There's a tie for first between Mookie Betts at 377 and Hanley at 377. Third, you got Sandoval 368, followed by Holt at 365. Xander Bogaerts is fifth at 352. Ortiz is sixth at 350. Alejandro Diaz is eighth at 345. Napoli is ninth at 344. And that rounds out the top 10. Do we have anybody else on the team? I don't think so. Nobody's that bad on my team. Yeah, no. It goes to the top 50. Okay. For hits, Mookie Betts is first, 140, followed by David Ortiz at 118. Xander Bogaerts, 116, tied for third with Ramirez. Robinson Cano is fifth at 114, tied with Pablo Sandoval for fifth. Mike Trout of the Angels is at 113. Adam Eaton at 107 for the White Sox. Joe Mauer, 104, tied for ninth with Mike Napoli. So that rounds out the top 10. And Brock Holt's tied for 14th at 101. And that about... Alejandro Diaz is tied for 31st at 90. That's that. For at-bats, Mookie Betts is first at 371, followed by Eric Aybar, the shortstop, at 365 for the Angels. Evan Gattis of the Astros at 359. Michael Bourn of the Indians at 356. Billy Butler of the Athletics at 355. Evan Longoria, 352. He's of the Rays. Luis Valbuena of the Astros, 349. Nelson Cruz of the Mariners at 348. And tied for ninth, Josh Donaldson of the Blue Jays and Adam Jones of the Orioles at 346. So only have one guy in at-bats at the top 10. And then we got David Ortiz, 15th at 337. Xander Bogaerts, 20th at 330. Pablo Sandoval is tied for 40th. With David DeJesus of the Rays and David Freese of the Angels at 310. Hanley Ramirez is 43rd at 308. And Mike Napoli's tied for 47th with Torrey Hunter of the Twins at 302. And that does the at-bats. We go to doubles. Mike Trout's first with 31. Jose Abreu of the White Sox second at 28. Xander Bogaerts third, 26. Jared Dyson tied for fourth with Leonys Martin of the Rangers. Jared Dyson of the Royals, 25. Pablo Sandoval sixth at 23, tied with Michael Bourn of the Indians and Joe Mauer of the Twins. Ninth is Melky Cabrera of the White Sox at 22. He is also tied with Eric Aybar of the Angels, Adam Jones of the Orioles, Michael Brantley of the Indians, Alexi Ramirez of the White Sox. And that rounds out the top 10. So I have two guys, Xander Bogaerts and Pablo Sandoval. As we keep going down, Alejandro Diaz is tied for 14th with 21. With David Murphy of the Indians, Josh Reddick of the Athletics, Adam Eaton of the White Sox, Elvis Andrus of the Rangers, Prince Fielder of the Tigers, Rajai Davis of the Tigers, Prince Fielder of the Rangers, Rajai Davis of the Tigers, Salvador Perez of the Royals, and then Mookie Betts is tied for 22nd with Brett Laurie of the Athletics with 20. Hanley Ramirez is 24th with 19, tied with Kyle Seager of the Mariners, also Brock Holt, Didi Gregorius of the Yankees, Shin-Soo Choo of the Rangers, and then we have David Ortiz, 35th with 17, tied with Lorenzo Cain of the Royals, Eduardo Nunez of the Twins, Torrey Hunter of the Twins, Evan Gattis of the Astros, and then that does it. So top 10 in doubles, we got Bogaerts, we got Sandoval, and that does it. For triples, Leonys Martin of the Rangers is first with 8, tied with Jose Altuve of the Astros with 8. Mookie Betts is third with 7. Eduardo Nunez of the Twins has 5. He's also tied with Lorenzo Cain of the Royals and Jared Dyson of the Royals. Sandoval's 7th with 4. He's tied with Michael Bourn of the Indians, Elvis Andrus of the Rangers, Michael Brantley of the Indians, Alejandro Diaz, Hanley Ramirez, Brett Gardner of the Yankees, Jose Reyes of the Blue Jays, Luis Valbuena of the Astros is 15th. And that rounds out the top 10. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in the top 10 in triples. Anybody else on the Red Sox? Brock Holt's tied for 22nd with Eric Hosmer of the Royals with 2. Adam LaRoche of the White Sox. Kevin Kiermaier of the Rays. Evan Longoria of the Rays. Jason Castro of the Astros, Chris Carter of the Astros, Mitch Moreland of the Rangers, Adam Eaton of the White Sox, Stephen Drew of the Yankees, Alexi Ramirez of the White Sox, Seth Smith of the Mariners, Austin Jackson of the Mariners, Billy Burns of the Athletics, Jose Iglesias of the Tigers, Ian Kinsler of the Tigers, Rajay Davis of the Tigers, Jose Abreu of the White Sox, Kurt Suzuki of the Twins, Jose Ramirez of the Indians, Brandon Moss of the Indians, DJ Gregorius of the Yankees, Ryan Goins of the Blue Jays, Kendrys Morales of the Royals, Jose Bautista of the Blue Jays, Kyle Seager of the Mariners is 47th. And then that does that. Home runs, Trout's in first with 27 of the Angels. Edwin Encarnacion is second with 26. He's on the Blue Jays. Napoli's third for me with 25. Bautista of the Blue Jays is 23. He's fourth. Jose Abreu is fifth of the White Sox at 21. Gaddis is also tied with Abreu for fifth of the Astros. Brandon Moss is seventh with 20, tied with Robinson Cano of the Mariners. Kyle Seager of the Mariners is ninth with 19, tied with Danny Valencia of the Blue Jays. And that rounds out the top 10. David Ortiz is tied for 11th with 18. Chris Carter of the Astros, Adam Jones of the Orioles, Hanley Ramirez is also tied with Ortiz. And that's that. Then we got anybody else? Pablo Sandoval is tied for 23rd with 12. Cruz of the Mariners, Cabrera of the White Sox, Machado of the Orioles, Stephen Vaught of the Athletics. And then that does that. RBIs, Trout's first with 65, tied with Salvador Perez of the Royals. Ortiz is third with 62, tied with Billy Butler at the Athletics. Melky Cabrera of the White Sox is fifth with 61. Mike Napoli is sixth with 59, tied with Jose Abreu of the White Sox. Brandon Moss is eighth of the Indians with 58. Bogarts is ninth with 57, and Teixeira is 10th with 55. So the top 10 in RBIs, the Red Sox have three guys. And then Hanley Ramirez is 23rd with 48. He's tied with Sandoval, Edwin Encarnacion of the Blue Jays, Michael Brantley of the Indians, Evan Longoria of the Rays, Evan Gattis of the Astros, Danny Valencia of the Blue Jays is tied for 28th with Evan Gattis. So that takes care of that. And then the Red Sox here, 37th, tied with Josh Donaldson with 42 RBIs. Josh Donaldson of the Blue Jays. You got Mookie Betts. Alejandro Diaz is 39th with 41. And that does that. Runs scored. Ramirez is first with 64. Napoli has 62. Betts has 60. Sandoval 57. Leonis Martin of the Rangers has 56. Trout of the Angels is tied with Adam Eaton of the White Sox with 53. Michael Brantley of the Indians has 52. And then there's a four-way tie for ninth with Jose Abreu of the White Sox with 50. Brandon Moss of the Indians, Eric Ibar of the Angels, and Ortiz of the Red Sox. And then Bogarts is 18th with 47. Alejandro Diaz is tied for 23rd with Kyle Seager of the Mariners with 45. Brock Holtz tied for 27th with Evan Gattis of the Astros with 42, and Brian Dozier of the Twins. And that does it for our runs scored. Stolen bases, I don't think I have anybody in here. Mookie Betts is tied for 42nd with 3. With Jose Iglesias of the Tigers, Kyle Seager of the Mariners, Marwin Gonzalez of the Astros, Logan Forsythe of the Rays, Josh Reddick of the Athletics, Brandon Guyer of the Rays, Billy Burns of the Athletics, and Jose Ramirez of the Indians. Do I have anybody with more than 3? I doubt it. No? Wow, only Alejandro Diaz has 7. He's tied for 22nd with Ian Kinsler of the Tigers. And that should do it. But top 10, stolen bases. Jared Dyson of the Royals is 30. Sam Fuld of the Athletics is 23. Elvis Andrus of the Rangers is 20. Rajay Davis of the Tigers is 18. Mike Trout of the Angels is 17. Tied for 5th with Emilia Bonifacio of the White Sox. Anthony Goes of the Tigers is 16. Michael Bourne of the Indians is 15. Tim Beckham of the Rays is 13. And Lorenzo Cain of the Royals has 12. Tied with Leonis Martin of the Rangers. Lorenzo Cain of the Royals. Base on balls, we got Matt Joyce of the Angels with 44. Tied for 1st with Brian Dozier of the Twins and Mike Trout of the Angels. Fielder of the Rangers is 4th with 42. Luis Valbuena of the Astros is 41. Tied for 5th with Billy Butler at the Athletics. Adam Eaton is 7th of the White Sox with 40. Adam LaRoche with the White Sox is 39. Tied for 8th with David DeJesus of the Rays. And then there's a tie for 10th. David Murphy of the Indians is 38. Tied with Michael Bourne of the Indians. Sam Fuld of the Athletics. Jose Bautista of the Blue Jays. Ben Zobrist of the Athletics. And do I have anybody? I don't think I have anybody in the base on balls section. I would highly doubt it. No. All right, slugging percentage. Trout is first with a 678, followed by Napoli, 646, Ramirez, 640, Sandoval, 584. In fifth, you got Jose Abreu of the White Sox at 576, Brandon Moss of the Indians at 572, Edwin Encarnacion of the Blue Jays at 569, Robinson Cano of the Mariners at 568, Prince Fielder of the Rangers at 567, and Ortiz rounds out the top 10, 561. Then Alejandro Diaz is 15th at 513, Mookie Betts is 16th at 509, Brock Holt's 18th at 502. There's a tie for 19th. Bogarts at 500 with Logan Morrison of the Mariners. And then that does it, I believe, for sluggers. OPS, Trout's first with 1,096, followed by Ramirez at 1,016, Napoli's at 991. Then you got Fielder of the Rangers fourth at 979, Cano fifth of the Mariners at 966, Sandoval sixth, 954, Brandon Moss of the Indians seventh, 949, Jared Dyson of the Royals 929, he's eighth, Jose Abreu of the White Sox is 927, he's ninth, and Ortiz rounds out the top 10 at 918. Alejandro Diaz is 13th at 893, Mookie Betts is 15th at 883. Brock Holt's 19th at 861. Bogarts is 20th at 848. And that does it. Wins. Wade Miley's first at 14. Rick Porcello second with 12. Buck Holtz is tied for third with John Danks of the White Sox with 11. Masterson's fifth with 10. And then when we go to the top 20... there's a tie for sixth with Chris Tillman of the Orioles has 9. Nathan Eovaldi of the Yankees, Garrett Richards of the Angels, Jeremy Guthrie of the Royals, Corey Kluber of the Indians, Felix Hernandez of the Mariners. And then there's a tie for 12th with 8. Miguel Gonzalez of the Orioles, Hector Santiago of the Angels, Alfredo Simon of the Tigers, Anibal Sanchez of the Tigers, David Price of the Tigers, Taijuan Walker of the Mariners, Eduardo Rodriguez of the Red Sox, CC Sabathia of the Yankees, and Michael Pineda is 20th, tied for 20th with 7 of the Yankees, with Chris Sale of the White Sox, Sonny Gray of the Athletics, Danny Duffy of the Royals, Edison Volquez of the Royals, Trevor Bauer of the Indians, Zach McAllister of the Indians, Astros, Dallas Keuchel, Jeff Samardzija of the White Sox, Danny Salazar of the Indians, and that's that. Losses, Garrett Richards is first with 1. Well, most losses, I should say. Let's do it from this way. Chris Archer is first with 12, followed by Nate Carnes of the Rays of 11. Mark Burley's tied for third with 10. He's with the Blue Jays. Trevor May also is, tied for fourth is Jose Quintana with 9 of the White Sox, Jeff Samardzija of the White Sox, and Trevor May of the Twins. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then tied for 7th, Colby Lewis with 8 losses. Colby Lewis of the Rangers, Kyle Gibson of the Twins, David Price of the Tigers, Giovanni Gallardo of the Rangers, and Wei Yin Chin of the Orioles. All right. And then the least amount of losses, this should be pretty easy. Garrett Richards has 1. Rick Porcello also has 1. Yordano Ventura has 2. There's a tie for third between him. Buck Holtz, Miley, and Danny Salazar of the Indians. And then that's that. Saves. Cody Allen's first with 30. David Robertson's second with 27. Of the White Sox, Zach Britton of the Orioles, 24. Tied for third with Dellin Betances of the Yankees. Gus Houston Street of the Angels is fifth with 23. Tied for fifth with Glenn Perkins of the Twins. Greg Holland, seventh of the Royals. Tied for seventh with 22 with Fernando Rodney of the Mariners and Chad Qualls of the Astros. And then 10th is Tyler Clippard with 20. The Athletics, Koji's 11th. And that does that. ERA, Miley's first, 1.68, followed by Felix Hernandez of the Mariners at 1.83. Corey Kluber's 2.11 of the Indians. Buck Holtz 2.26. David Price of the Tigers 2.29. Porcello 2.50, tied with Richards of the Angels. Chris Tillman 2.55 of the Orioles. C.J. Wilson 2.67 of the Angels. Chris Tillman of the Orioles. And Trevor Bauer 2.80 rounds out the top 10 of the Indians. Do I have anybody else? I don't think anybody has that high of a ERA. Home runs allowed. Felix Hernandez is first with 7, the least amount. Jeremy Guthrie has allowed the most with 19. Wei Yin Chen 17, tied for second with Colin McHugh of the Astros. Wei Yin Chen of the Orioles. Fourth place, there's a tie between Dallas Keuchel of the Astros, Jeff Samardzija of the White Sox, and Chris Sale of the White Sox. Colby Lewis, there's a tie for 7th. John Danks of the White Sox with 14. Sabathia of the Yankees and Colby Lewis of the Rangers. As far as least amount allowed, Porcello is tied for 9th with 9. With Roberto Hernandez of the Astros, Mike Pelfrey of the Twins, Kyle Gibson of the Twins, and Zach McAllister of the Indians. Shutouts, Masterson's first with 7, followed by Tillman of the Orioles with 3. There's a huge tie for 2nd between him, Clay Buchholz, Felix Hernandez of the Mariners, Rick Porcello, Alfredo Simon of the Tigers, and then tied for 7th with 2. You got Burley of the Blue Jays, Sanchez of the Tigers, Price of the Tigers, Dickey of the Blue Jays, Keuchel of the Astros, Young of the Royals, Guthrie of the Royals, Miley, Eduardo Rodriguez, Edinson Volquez of the Royals, and that does that. Strikeouts, Buchholz first with 155, Wade Miley second, 137, Porcello third, 124, Gray fourth, 114, Sale fifth, 113 of the White Sox, Pineda tied for 6th with the Yankees of Jeff Smarge of the White Sox with 112, Kluber 8th, the Indians 111, and Sanchez tied for 9th with Felix Hernandez of the Mariners, Sanchez with the Tigers 108. Complete games, Masterson first 7, Price tied for 2nd with Felix Hernandez of the Mariners with 5, Price with the Tigers, Chris Tillman 4th, tied for 4th with Buchholz and Porcello, Chris Tillman's with the Orioles with 4, then there's a big tie for 7th with 3, Michael Pineda of the Yankees, Sonny Gray of the Athletics, Alfredo Simon of the Tigers, Anibal Sanchez of the Tigers, McHugh of the Astros, Smarja with the White Sox, Quintana with the White Sox, Miley, Sale with the White Sox, and that's that. Innings pitched, Corey Kluber's first, 136 and 2/3, Miley second, 134, Buchholz third, 131 and a third, Hernandez of Seattle is 127 and 2/3, Tillman fifth of the Orioles, 127, Porcello sixth, 126, Price seventh, 125 and 2/3 of the Tigers, Sonny Gray 8th of the Athletics, 121, Smarja of the White Sox, 120, he's 9th, and Dickey 10th, Blue Jays 119 and 2/3, and that should do it, I imagine. Yeah. Walks allowed, Porcello's allowed the least amount of walks with 2, followed by Miley with 3, followed by Buchholz with 5, Price is 4th with 14 of the Tigers, Burley of the Blue Jays is 5th with 16, Valdi of the Yankees is 6th with 17. Fernandez of the Mariners is 7th with 19. Sale of the White Sox is 8th with 20. Kluber of the Indians is 9th with 21. Kazmir of the Athletics is 10th with 22. And the worst amount of walks allowed you have is Bauers allowed 58 walks and 112 and 2/3 innings pitched. Whip, Miley's first, 0.72. Porcello second, 0.89. Buchholz third, 0.95. Hernandez of the Mariners is 4th, 0.96. Price of the Tigers is 5th with 1. Kluber of the Indians is 6th with 1.02. Dickey of the Blue Jays 7th, 1.10. Sale of the White Sox 8th, 1.11. Tillman 9th of the Orioles, 1.14. Miguel Gonzalez of the Orioles 10th, 1.17. Okay, and then anybody else on the team? No. Batting average, and so that's it for the American League. National League leaders, we'll just do the top 10. Pagan first, 360. Votto second of the Reds, 348. McCutcheon of the Pirates is third at 341. Kadire of the Mets is 4th at 336. Blackman of the Rockies is 5th at 321. Upton of the Padres is 6th, 313. Carpenter of the Cardinals is 7th, 310. Posey of the Giants is 8th, 307. Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks is 9th, 306. And Johnson, 10th of the Braves, 305. Hitch, Pagan of the Giants is first, 117. McCutcheon of the Pirates is tied for second. Blackman of the Rockies, 115. Votto's 4th with the Reds, 110. Carpenter of the Cardinals is 5th, 107. Belt of the Giants is 6th, 103. There's a tie for 7th between Hamilton of the Reds and Johnson of the Braves with 99. And 9th, Dean Desmond of the Nationals at 97. Tied for 10th. Kadire of the Mets, Upton of the Padres with 96. At bats, Blackman of the Rockies is first, 358. Carpenter of the Cardinals, second, 345. Rivera of the Phillies is third, 344. Hamilton with the Reds is 4th. There's a tie between him and Belt of the Giants, 342. 6th is McCutcheon of the Pirates at 337. Howard is 7th with the Phillies at 333. Kendrick of the Dodgers is 8th at 326. DJ LeMahieu is tied for 9th with Chris Johnson of the Braves. Angel Pagan of the Giants with 325. Mayhew, obviously, with the Rockies. Doubles, Blackman of the Rockies is first with 39. Hamilton of the Reds is second with 32. McCutcheon of the Pirates is third with 30. Pagan of the Giants is 4th with 29. Castro of the Cubs is 5th with 23. Belt is 6th of the Giants with 22. There's a tie for 7th between Votto of the Reds, Polanco of the Pirates, and Tulowitzki of the Rockies with 21. And then 10th, there's a tie between Cuddyer of the Mets, Maben of the Braves, and Gomez of the Brewers with 19. Triples, Hamilton of the Reds is first with 9. Starling Marte of the Pirates is second with 8. Ian Desmond is tied for third with Juan Lagares of the Mets with 6. Todd Frazier is fifth of the Reds with 5. And there's a tie for 6 between Carlos Gomez of the Brewers, Colton Wong of the Cardinals, Angel Pagan of the Giants, and Will Venable of the Padres with 4. Then there's a tie for 10th with 3 of Nick Markakis of the Braves, Justin Upton of the Padres, Darren Ruff of the Phillies, A.J. Pollock of the Diamondbacks, Cameron Maben of the Braves, Dee Gordon of the Marlins, Gene Segura of the Brewers, Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers, Ramos Ramirez of the Brewers, Charlie Blackmon of the Rockies, Andrelton Simmons of the Braves, Peter Bourgeois of the Cardinals, and that's that. Home runs, first, Troy Tulowitzki, 22 of the Rockies. Second, Howard of the Phillies is 19. Ian Desmond tied for third with Gregory Polanco of the Pirates with 18. Ian Desmond with the Nationals. Paul Goldschmidt's fifth of the Diamondbacks with 17. Rizzo of the Cubs is tied for sixth with Votto of the Reds with 16. Reynolds is eighth with the Cardinals with 15, tied with Jay Bruce of the Reds and Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates. RBI is Tulowitzki's first with the Rockies, 58. Howard of the Phillies is second with 55. Polanco of the Pirates is third with 54. There's a tie for fourth between Desmond and the Nationals and Bruce of the Reds with 53. There's a tie for sixth with 51 of McCutchen of the Pirates and Ramirez of the Brewers. There's a tie for eighth between Belt of the Cardinals and Posey of the Belt of the Giants and Posey of the Giants with 50. And then there's a tie for 10th with 49. Rizzo of the Cubs, Hayward of the Cardinals, and Duda of the Mets. Runs scored, Ian Desmond of the Nationals is first with 55. There's a tie for second with 54 between Blackmon of the Rockies and Pagan of the Giants. Fourth is McCutchen of the Pirates at 53. There's a tie for fifth with 50 between Votto of the Reds, Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks, Carpenter of the Cardinals, Hamilton of the Reds. There's a tie for ninth with 48 between Hayward of the Cardinals and Tulowitzki of the Rockies. Stolen bases, Dee Gordon of the Marlins is first with 30. Hamilton of the Reds is second with 29. Revere of the Phillies is third with 27. Gene Segura of the Brewers is fourth with 23. Starling Marte of the Pirates is fifth with 21. Gomez of the Brewers is sixth with 19. Pagan of the Giants is seventh with 16. Venable of the Padres is eighth with 15. There's a tie for ninth with 14 between McCutchen of the Pirates and Blackmon of the Rockies. Base on balls, Fowler of the Cubs is first with 50. Laduda of the Mets is second with 48. Carpenter of the Cardinals is third with 47. McCutchen of the Pirates is fourth with 45. There is a tie for fifth with 44 between Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks, Posey of the Giants, and Bruce of the Reds. Eighth of the Padres is Derek Norris with 43. Ninth with 42 is Curtis Granderson of the Mets. And there's a tie for 10th with 40 between Harper of the Nationals and Upton of the Padres. Slugging percentage, Troy Tulowitzki's first of the Rockies, 632. McCutchen of the Pirates is second, 576. Pagan's third of the Giants with 575. Polanco's fourth of the Pirates at 569. Votto of the Reds is fifth with 566. Desmond of the Nationals is sixth with 559. Blackmon of the Rockies is seventh with 547. Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks is eighth with 541. Upton of the Padres is ninth with 515. And Castro of the Cubs is 10th with 492. OPS, Tulowitzki's of the Rockies is first, 1,011. McCutchen of the Pirates is second, 995. Pagan of the Giants is third with 985. Votto of the Reds is fourth with 982. Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks is fifth with 939. Desmond of the Nationals is sixth with 923. Polanco of the Pirates is seventh with 923. Tied for sixth, it actually should be, with Desmond of the Nationals ninth, or I guess eighth is Upton with the Padres at 915. Also eighth, Blackmon of the Rockies with 915. And then 10th is Posey of the Giants at 885. Wins, Cueto and Lackey are tied for first with 13. Cueto of the Reds, Lackey of the Cardinals. Third of the Pirates is A.J. Burnett with 10. Also, Jarrett Cole of the Pirates has 10. There's a tie for fifth with 9 wins between Scherzer of the Nationals, Kennedy of the Padres, and Heron of the Marlins. Then there's a tie for eighth with 8. Alex Wood of the Braves, Kendrick of the Rockies, Madison Bumgarner of the Giants, Lance Lynn of the Cardinals, Shields of the Padres, Anderson of the Dodgers, DeGrom of the Mets, Hudson of the Diamondbacks, and that's that. Then you got losses, the most losses in the National League. First is Carlos Martinez. There's a tie for first. There's a first, Carlos Martinez is 10. And then there's a tie for second with 9 between Julio Teheran of the Braves, Tyson Ross of the Padres, Friedrich of the Rockies, and Chafin of the Diamondbacks. And then there's a tie for sixth with 8 between Shelby Miller of the Braves, Shields of the Padres, Hamill of the Cubs, and Hamels of the Phillies. Okay. Then you got saves. Johan Benoit tied for first with 27 of the Padres, with Rosenthal of the Cardinals, Melanson of the Pirates, and Broxton of the Brewers. Fifth was Drew Storen of the Nationals at 24. Casilla of the Giants is sixth with 23. Rondon of the Cubs is seventh with 21. Papelbon of the Phillies is eighth with 20. Cishek with the Marlins is ninth with 19. And then Jerry Mejia of the Mets is 10th with 9. ERA, Cueto's first, 1.41. He's of the Reds. Scherzer's second National is 1.52. Lackey of the Cardinals is third with a 2.19. DeGrom of the Mets is fourth with a 2.21. Fears of the Brewers is fifth with a 2.34. Kershaw of the Dodgers is sixth with a 2.37. Tied for sixth is Heron of the Marlins with a 2.37. Eighth is Greinke of the Dodgers, 2.69. Cole of the Pirates is ninth, 2.79. And Hudson of the Diamondbacks is 10th, 2.90. Home runs allowed, Bartolo Colon is 21. He is in first. John Neese is tied for second with Christian Friedrich of the Rockies. Neese with the Mets with 19. Hamels is third of the Phillies with 17. There's a tie for fourth with 16 between Shields of the Padres and Miller of the Braves. There's a tie for sixth with 15 between Hudson of the Diamondbacks and Fears of the Brewers. Then there's a tie for eighth between Lackey of the Cardinals, Arrieta of the Cubs, and Nicasio of the Dodgers. Shutouts, Cueto is tied for first with Heron of the Marlins, Cueto of the Reds with 3. Tied for third is with 2. Julio Teheran of the Braves, Walker of the Cardinals, Baumgartner of the Giants, Lackey of the Cardinals, Liriano of the Pirates, Cole of the Pirates, Shields of the Padres, Colementor of the Diamondbacks, Scherzer of the Nationals, Kershaw of the Dodgers, Greinke of the Dodgers, Latos of the Marlins, De La Rosa of the Diamondbacks, and that's that. Strikeouts first, Johnny Cueto, 160s with the Reds. Greinke of the Dodgers, second, 138. Scherzer of the Nationals, third, 137. Cole with the Pirates, fourth, 134. Kershaw with the Dodgers, fifth, 130. Wood with the Braves, 617. Kennedy with the Padres, 7th, 115. Tie for eighth between Arrieta of the Cubs and Gio Gonzalez of the Nationals, 113. 10th, Matt Harvey of the Mets, 108. Complete games, Cueto's first with 6. Lackey is second with the Cardinals with 5. Cueto with the Reds. Teheran tied for third with 4 with the Braves. Between him, Alex Wood of the Braves, Scherzer of the Nationals, Shields of the Padres, Kendrick of the Rockies, Waka of the Cardinals, and then there's a tie for 9th with 3 between Baumgartner of the Giants, Cole of the Pirates, Loge of the Brewers, Heron of the Marlins, DeGrom of the Mets, Kershaw of the Dodgers, Liriano of the Pirates. Innings pitched, Cueto's first of the Reds, 140 and a third. Lackey second with the Cardinals, 131 and 2/3. Scherzer third with the Nationals, 130 and 2/3. Kershaw is fourth with the Dodgers, 129 and a third. Heron with the Marlins is fifth with 129. Tied with him is Cole of the Pirates. Seventh, Jacob DeGrom of the Mets, 126 and a third. Brett Anderson is eighth with the Dodgers, 124. Greinke with the Dodgers is ninth, 123 and 2/3. And last, 10th, I should say, rounding out the top 10, the Diamondbacks, Josh Collmetcher, 119. Walks allowed, Liriano is first with 55 in 102 and 2/3 innings. Chafin and Liriano of the Pirates. Chafin of the Diamondbacks is second with 54. Kendricks of the Cubs is third with 53. Burnett's fourth of the Pirates with 48. Ross of the Padres is fifth with 47. Kendrick of the Rockies is sixth with 43. Martinez is seventh with 42 of the Cardinals. And tied for eighth, you got Ian Kennedy of the Padres, Tom Cole of the Marlins, Hellickson of the Diamondbacks, and Hamill of the Cubs with 41. Whip, first, John Lackey, 0.93 of the Cardinals. Cueto of the Reds is second, 0.94. Scherzer of the Nationals is third, 1.02. Heron of the Marlins, fourth, 1.06. Kershaw of the Dodgers, fifth, 1.07. Hamels of the Phillies, sixth, 1.08. Baumgartner is tied for seventh of the Giants with Hudson of the Diamondbacks at 1.09. And then tied for ninth, Greinke of the Dodgers, 1.10. Cole of the Pirates, 1.10. And Fears of the Brewers, 1.10. And that does it, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. You know the drill. MLB 15, the show. We are